As we all know, investing in girls' education is not just a matter of equity. It is a catalyst for sustainable development. When girls are educated, they are empowered to break the cycle of poverty. They contribute to their communities as well as drive economic growth. They become informed leaders and also serve as role models for future generations. You're welcome to another episode of AAU Talks on AAU TV, and my name is Isabella Teta Hinakwa, the sitting host for this episode. Today we are focusing on the incredible work done by FAWE Africa in terms of contributing to promoting girls' education across the continent, and we are privileged to have with us two distinguished guests, all from FAWE Africa. I'll introduce them to you and then start with the discussion after this break. Please stay with us. You're welcome back from the break, and this is AAU Talks on AAU TV. If you just joined, you can also follow the discussions on our social media handles at Association of African Universities on Facebook and YouTube. Like I mentioned, today we are going to discuss the work done by FAWE Africa. We are going to also see some of the challenges they faced and also the future of girls' education across the continent. And as I mentioned, we are joined by two guests. It's a privilege to have with us the board chair of FAWE Africa, Honorable Aicha Bah Diallo, and also the executive director of FAWE Africa, Dr. Martha Muhwezi. Now, let me introduce them very well to you. So, Honorable Aicha Bah Diallo is the former Minister of Education in Guinea and also the former Assistant Director General for Education at UNESCO. She is well-known figure in the championing of women's and girls' education, as well as has been a member of FAWE Africa since its inception. And also Dr. Martha Muhwezi leads FAWE Africa with over 25 years of experience in civil society, and she's also a seasoned expert in organizational management, program coordination, and gender mainstreaming. Now, proud to her becoming the executive director, she was the senior program coordinating officer overseeing the implementation of FAWE strategic objectives across 34 national chapters. So you see the guest we have for today's episode. You're welcome, Honorable and Doc.
Thank you.
It's a privilege to have you on AAU Talks.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you, and also thank you for accepting our invitation. Now, to you, Dr. Martha, today we are discussing FAWE Africa. We've seen the incredible work that you've done. We've seen your commitment to ensuring that girls have the opportunity to be educated. Now, give us a brief overview of FAWE Africa. What actually motivated the establishment of the initiative, and also maybe your vision and mission and values.
Yeah, thank you so much, Bella. And again, thank you for welcoming us to this talk show. FAWE is the Forum for African Women Educationalists. It is a Pan-African organization, meaning established by Africans to serve African interests. And it was established way back in 1993, but registered in Nairobi, Kenya in 1992.
Okay.
The establishment of FAWE was by a number of visionary women, and among them were 5 of them who were at that time ministers of education. And while discussions were going on in terms of education for all, that's in the early 90s, there was that feeling that if we don't have deliberate effort to support girls, much as we talk about education for all, the girls will not be part of that package. So these great ladies had to establish FAWE as an institution that was to focus on gender equity and equality, believing in a principle of leaving no one behind. And that's how FAWE was established. And we have presence in 33 countries currently. So the headquarters are in Nairobi, but the implementation of the FAWE mandate is handled at national level and through our chapters that are, for instance, in Ghana, we have FAWE Ghana.
Yeah.
In Guinea, we have FAWE Guinea. So each is FAWE and then the country. So they are all working towards ensuring that there's equity and equality in education. Wow. And this also streams from the disadvantages that girls have faced over generations and generations. And therefore, at the onset of FAWE, there was a lot of research that was done in terms of trying to establish why are girls not accessing school, why are they, the few that access, there's no retention, and there was no, the completion rates were very low, and then transition to the world of work was equally very low. And that's how FAWE came up with a number of interventions that work towards breaking those barriers. It has a number of interventions that are implemented at country level. But at regional level, we do a lot of advocacy because we look at policy and work with the African Union to make sure that the policies that are passed at the African Union level translate to the countries. So in brief, that's what FAWE is, and that's what we stand for. You asked me about the mission and vision. We want to see a society where all girls have equal opportunity to get into school.
Right. Thank you very much, and it's really a great work that you are all doing. Now, like you mentioned, you work on policies, meaning you work with both the grassroots as well as the policy level. Now, if we are to ask, what are some of the key initiatives or activities that have been implemented by FAWE, what will this be?
Okay, thank you. One of the key activities that I would mention as number one is having girls that are out of school get into school. And how was that done? It was a policy issue. FAWE worked closely with the other partners to ensure that there is a policy on re-entry. That once a girl has become pregnant, dropped out of school, that should not be her last. She should not be like a forgotten case. But we need to give them second chance and have them get back into school. And that all goes because who is responsible for the girls dropping out? It could be boys. But while girls have dropped off, the boys are continuing with their activity or with their studies and everything. And that's how that re-entry policy. And I want to mention one of the countries in Zambia. They went ahead to also put in a policy that says if a boy has impregnated a girl, the girl is out of school, that boy should also be out of school until the girl gives birth, until the baby is 9 months, then both of them will go back to school, which I believe should be the policy in all our African countries. There are quite a number of activities implemented, including ensuring that the girls that are very bright, intelligent, and are not able to go to school for socio-economic reasons, FAWE came up with what we call a comprehensive scholarship program. It dates as far back as 1997. Where they started giving scholarships to some of those girls that were very intelligent, but would not get into school. And so that comprehensive scholarship has enabled thousands and thousands of girls get into school. We have programs like promoting STEM for girls. We all know that STEM has been a male-dominated field, but we are saying even the girls can do it. And so we have a program that also promotes girls, encourages girls. We have mentorship, we have role models. We have to look at those engineers, the female engineers. How did they make it? And then we are able to support the other girls.
Right. Thank you very much. Now to you, Honorable, talking about policies, you know, one of the challenges Africa we face is the implementation of policy. Now, how do you see the role of the government in driving gender responsive education policies, and also what actions are needed to ensure that these are at the top, girls' education are the top priority agenda of the political initiatives?
Thank you so much for your question, which is quite complicated because Martha has already given a lot of information about it. However, when you are a Minister of Education, the first thing to do is to have the statistics to know who is coming to school and who is out of school first. Then you have to have a policy, a that will allow you to solve the problem. What are the reasons why girls are not coming to school? What are the things which are preventing them from coming to school? So you need to do some research. We call it action research. Once you know it, you know how to deal with it. For instance, you know that when the schools are far away from the school, the family will not accept to send the girls to school because they are afraid of the integrity of the girls. Therefore, you will need to have schools built within the community first. You have to ensure that the curriculum will respond to the needs of kids, but in particular for girls. So you have to work into the domain of curriculum. And the curriculum has to talk to her, talk to the family. Yeah. Third, you have to train the teachers. We have found out that the teachers, they are not even aware of the fact that they do not treat girls and boys the same way. So you need to train them, you need to show them. In fact, once I went to a school and I was sitting in the back to see how the teacher was doing. And he was just, giving the floor to the boys. If the boys says the wrong response, he will say, oh, okay, say it again, try again. If it is a girl, he will say, sit down, you don't know anything. You see, they are not aware of the fact, the way they treat girls and boys. Therefore, teacher training is very important. The curriculum is very important. And then the learning materials are very important. If you look at the early books we had, all the big, titles is always men. The doctor is a man. The president is a man. The vice president is a man. Everything is man. Where are the women? They are in the kitchen, or they are secretaries, or they are head infirmière in French. Anyway, so the roles which are important are always men. So you have to look into the material to ensure that boys and girls, men and women are treated the same way. Second, and also you have to ensure that the policy of the whole country will favor girls. Therefore, then we'll have to take as a group cible. You will choose the girl. Why? If you choose the girl as the focus of the whole policy, then you will have to work towards. First, you will ensure that the schools are there, teachers are trained, materials are trained, and then you have research action to ensure that everything is right. If it is not, then you have to make it up. So that's why it is important to work on the policy. And then after you work on the policy, once you have a policy, well done, everybody will buy into it, because you will do the advocacy with the parents, explain to them how important girls' education is important, women's education. In fact, the education of women and girls is the backbone of the development.
Yeah, very true.
You take the 19 objectives of development, you have girls and women from poverty to partnership. So all the partners will come, buy your policy, then help you fund it. But the first funder is the government. So we have to make sure that the government will give enough funds to the education sector. Once that is fixed, you will fix the whole development.
Right. Thank you very much, Honorable. So still on you, Honorable Mata made mention that FAWE Africa, you don't just provide the access to education, you also ensure girls' education, you also ensure that they are retained from their inception right to the complete. Now, let's talk about sustainability and collaboration. How do you think, or what can the government, civil society organizations, as well as individuals come together, ensuring that there is retention and not just access to education?
You see, the education sector, the minister in particular, and the team, because it's always a team which wins. It's not an individual. It's the whole team. what I did, because let me just give you my example. When I was appointed Minister of Education, I knew how to negotiate with partners, because I was coming from the education, from the cooperation, and I'm a teacher, I'm a chemist. So what I did was to ensure that I will have an equip which is well trained. So ensuring that the capacity of the people around you is well developed. Then you have to work with the teachers, because whatever concerns education is the teachers. You have to negotiate with the teachers. Then you will not have riots anyway. They will not go into what we call the grève. I don't know what you call it in English anyway. It's grève, when they stop working. If you work with them, whenever you have a problem, just invite them around the table, discuss, they will understand. So you have to lobby the teachers, and you have to lobby the parents, explain to the parents the importance of girls' education. I mean, if I have one daughter, if God asked me again, what kind of child I would say a girl. Wow. You know why? Because when the girl is well trained, she will take care of the whole family, take care of her family, her parents, her parents-in-law, everything. I mean, she will take care of it. And then you lobby the parents, you lobby the teachers, and it is intersectorial. Therefore, you have to work with all the departments. So what you should have is to have a committee where all these departments are represented, so that when there is a problem, they can discuss it and go back. Each one will go back to his own or her own department. For instance, the person in charge of the finance will always tell the minister, hey, wait a minute, there is a problem with the education sector. We have to solve it. And health, you know, the kids also, because you have to send the kids to the hospital. So you ensure that, I mean, you have to work with all departments. Even the Department of Defense and policy and whatever, because you have to protect the girls. In fact, the first country where girls who get pregnant were reintroduced was in Guinea. And that's where also we said, if a girl is pregnant, if it is a teacher, he's gone. He loses his job. If it is a kid, he will stay with the girl until she gets her baby and they come back together. So it's a whole lobby, advocacy that you have. And then you have to fix yourself before going towards the donors. And you have to ensure that the minister will be the one who will be in charge. When you have a meeting of donors, the minister knows the besoin, the needs of the department. It's not them. So just fix your policy, show them, discuss with them, tell them where the needs are, and they will help. 1. 2, accept that they be involved. Because when they are involved, they know you are not cheating, you are not corrupt. Then they accept to buy into it.
Okay, so before we go for break, my last question to you, Honorable, will be, you know, currently our focus in Africa is on economic growth as well as innovations. And like you made mention, if someone should ask what gender you come back as, you say a girl, sorry, because we take care of the family. Someone also will be asking, I mean, educating a girl, what benefit are we going to, how are they going to develop the country in terms of economic growth and innovation? Now, what role do you think girls' education can play in economic growth as well as innovation and then overall developing Africa?
I'm not going to shy away from saying that girls are brilliant. If you educate a girl, the economic she will bring in is 20%. The boys is 13-15%. So there is no photo, we say in French. She will bring much more than the boys. And she is responsible. We are not selfish, women are not selfish. I'm not going to shy away from saying it, you know. And we know the importance. You know, a woman who is educated, when she gets married, is pregnant, will she not go to the hospital? Therefore, she will have her baby in good good health, in good circumstances, take care of baby, breastfeed, because she knows the importance of the breastfeeding, and she will take care of the whole family. So that it is the woman who takes care of the health of the whole family, even the parents-in-law, her parents, and everything. So health, as far as health is concerned, so economic is a woman, health is woman. If you talk about social cohesion and peace, it is a woman again. Why? Because when the boys, especially, because it's always the boys who goes outside and maybe sometimes gets involved in violence, and the woman is the one, the mother is the one who will see right away that there is a change in the child, and then she will take care of it. Therefore, social cohesion and peace. And she doesn't want to have problems in her family. So peace. She is the one who will always negotiate with her husband to ensure that there will be understanding. She's also the one who is cooking. So the food also is woman. I mean, everything is us, huh? So I'm not going to shy away from saying it.
Of course, indeed, women and girls have a lot of responsibility to cater for.
And environment.
Yeah,
environment also. It's women. Remember that, as far as I'm concerned, my grandmother used to have her own garden. And also, she is the one who would tell the younger, the adolescent, the river, go and clean the river. They don't do it anymore, but that used to be done. So as far as environment is concerned, it's women. And also, we know what the Kenyan lady has done in Kenya. So she got the prize.
Thank you very much, Honorable. So she spoke about health, she spoke about family, and she's speaking about environment as well. We'll go for a quick break. When we come back, we'll continue with the discussion. So please stay tuned. And also, as we are in Ghana, it's better to have a rep from FAWE Ghana to also speak on what the initiative is doing. We'll go for a quick break. When we come back, we'll be joined by a rep from FAWE Ghana to continue with the discussion. Please stay tuned. Hello Africa is a live breakfast show that aims to give you, our viewers, an informative, entertaining, and energizing start to your day. This isn't just another news show. It takes the form of vibrant magazine packed with news reviews, lifestyle features, engaging interviews, and interactive segments that put you at the center of the action. All you have to do is grab your coffee, get comfortable, and join us for the Hello Africa morning show.
We are here to kickstart your day with the news and stories that matter to you, alongside all the fun and inspiration we crave.
Every morning, join us for
the latest headlines in African higher education, science, and
quick and informative newspaper and online news review.
Lifestyle tips on fitness, nutrition, fashion, and beauty.
Inspiring interviews with influential figures and everyday heroes.
Performances and interactive contests, and so much more.
In Ethiopia, Salam Africa. In North Africa, Alan Afrikia.
In Swahili, Jambo Afrika.
Hello Africa, your daily connection to the continent. You're welcome back from the break, and this is still AAU Talks on AAU TV, and today we are discussing FAWE Africa, the initiative, what they are doing, as well as some of the challenges they are facing. Now, before we had the chair of board from FAWE Africa with us, but now on this episode we are joined by the national coordinator of FAWE Ghana to also share the contribution of FAWE Ghana to achieving the whole goal of FAWE Africa. You're welcome, Mr. Winnie.
Thank you.
Great. Before I come to you, let me go back to Dr. Martha. Let's go back to the strategic plan of FAWE Africa. Currently, there's FAWE Ghana will be launching their new strategic plan 2024 to 2028. Now, with the FAWE Africa, I would want to know what are the focus area in the strategic plan.
Okay. Yeah, thank you, Bella. Like I mentioned earlier, FAWE is a network of 33 countries, and our strategic plan talks to each other.
Okay.
All the chapters align to the strategic plan of the FAWE Africa.
Okay.
And we have now the new strategic plan runs from 2024 to 2028.
Okay.
And in this strategic plan, we have 3 main objectives.
Okay.
The first one is about accessing quality education by all, with no exception. The second one is about evidence-based programming. So in other words, research. We need to do research, we need to gather information, and that informs our work. If we are talking about girls that have dropped out of school, how many are they? What is the magnitude of the problem? So research is our second objective. And the third one is about institutional strengthening. If the institution is not strong enough, we may not be able to implement the activities that we have planned for the 5 years. So objective number 3 focuses on FAWE Africa as a regional as a headquarters, but it also focuses on the chapters. Like I mentioned, the chapters translate the mandate at at country level.
Okay.
So that's the strategic plan that we have.
Okay. Yeah. And is the strategic plan aligned to any of the developmental goals? I know, of course.
Yes.
So which are these goals that are...
Yeah, our strategic plan aligns to SDG goal number 4 and number 5.
Okay.
Number 4, it's about education and lifelong learning. And all our programming aligns to that. Number 5 talks about gender equity and equality. And in all our programming, it aligns to all that.
Okay.
And we also align to the African Agenda 2063. We do.
All right. Thank you very much. All right. To you, Mr. Muhwezi. So FAWE Ghana will soon be launching the strategic plan, and I'd want to know what were the lessons learned as well as the best practices from other countries that contributed to developing the new strategic plan.
Thank you very much. As my boss, the executive director for FAWE Africa, did mention, the chapters takes our mandate from the head office. And what it means is that whatever the head office wants to see in Africa is being translated at the national level. And so before the new strategic plan was developed at the Africa level, there was a whole research, there was a whole engagement with all the 33 chapters and other partners that we work with. And so that process developed the strategic plan at the Africa level. Now, after this has been developed, the mandate for the chapter and at the national level is for us to look at this, conceptualize it, and implement it at the country level. And so at the country level, we now have to engage our various partners, our various stakeholders to know what is happening. We all know that in Ghana, we have the Education Strategic Plan 2018 to 2030, which the government of Ghana have set ambitious target for itself in all levels of education. And so now we ask ourselves, how do we align our main aspiration with that of government of Ghana and globally? And so we look at what government of Ghana is also looking at and how are they going to achieve it and what are the gaps that is existing. And so we mirror it and translate and conceptualize. So those are the analysis and discussion that went into the development of the FAWE version of the strategic plan, which mirror what the Africa is doing for all of us.
Okay. Now, I see on your T-shirt, Mastercard Foundation. So let's talk about collaboration. And of course, it shows that you collaborate with them. So what is the role of the Mastercard Foundation to FAWE Africa?
So you're asking my boss question to me, so that's fine. Because it's to Africa. So to Africa, the foundation has been a very supporting partner over the past 10 to now we are entering to another phase. Over 10 years, they have been supporting in diverse way. They start one of the initiative in 2012, 2013, where they supported, it starts with 2 of our chapters, Rwanda and Ethiopia, and later on, Uganda joined it. And after 10 years, they review, and after the evaluation, they realize that the scholarship program has been very impactful with diverse intervention on the scholarship program. Then the higher education access program that was pilot in Uganda has been of great success, which has become the 4th pathway for entrance to tertiary education in Uganda. And so they agreed that they are going to help FAWE to scale up in other countries. So now we are doing 10 countries instead of 3 countries. And fortunately, FAWE Ghana is part of it. And that is what they are helping us to do. And they also help in diverse way beyond this project implementation, which we are in the 2nd phase of it.
Okay, as you said, you are in the 2nd phase of it. Now, Dr. Martha, let's come back to the phase 1. I know he's mentioned scholarship and opportunity, but what are some of the impactful achievements you got from the phase 1 of the Mastercard Foundation program or through their partnership with FAWE Africa?
Okay, thank you, Bella. The phase 1, like Richard mentioned, it was from 2012.
Okay.
It was supposed to be 2013 to 2023. But remember, there was COVID. So it completes in 2025, this year.
Okay.
There was a bit of extension.
Okay.
But in phase 1, the major key activities that were planned, one was around giving opportunities to the disadvantaged girls to get back in school. And that's what we refer to as the comprehensive scholarship program. The other key activity was an initiative looking at, even when we talk about the vulnerable girls, they are not at the same level. They are not homogeneous. If you look at girls from the rural areas, girls from the slums, they are more disadvantaged than the girls maybe from the urban centers or that. So that pushed us to think together with the Mastercard Foundation in terms of how do we reach the most disadvantaged. And that's how we came up with a program which is referred to as the Higher Education Access Program. Some countries refer to it as a bridging program. But the whole essence is that that has been very, very impactful because it enabled girls that would never have accessed any tertiary institution to be able to do so.
Okay.
And the Higher Education Access Program looks at those girls. There are girls that may have applied for medicine. They have the potential, they have the capacity, but the environment under which they study disadvantages them. So this program helps them to catch up and be able to get the required points to join courses of their choice. It succeeded in Uganda. It was approved by the National Council for Higher Education. And from the 3 universities that we started with, it has now extended to a total of 12 universities, including both public and private. Now, for the girls that benefited from the scholarship, particularly those that went to TVET in Uganda, over 85% are employed. And I think that teaches us a lesson as Africans, because there is a tendency of thinking for you to succeed, you must have a degree. It's not necessarily that. You can succeed even when you have a certificate. The skill is very critical. And it's based on that that the girls got into employment. While we have girls that did degree courses, and many of them are not employed. So that is another impact. And those vulnerable girls, when they get employment, it's a trickle-down effect. They also now go into supporting their families, supporting siblings, supporting communities. The other program that was very impactful and which also relates to job creation is in phase 1, we introduced what we called Scholarship Entrepreneurship Fund. It was a small grant. Between the lowest was $500, the highest was $5,000. And that program led to girls being innovative, being creative, And as we speak now, in Rwanda, the girls established over 43 projects that are still sustaining.
Yeah.
Of course, there are those that started and didn't materialize, but that gives us, we pick lessons from that. Why didn't it succeed? And why did the other one succeed? So that has also impacted on the girls. Not necessarily going to look for a job, but you employ yourself, but as well employ many more other girls. Yeah.
These are quite a number of impactful initiatives, and thanks
Absolutely.
to Mastercard and FAWE Africa. My question then is, with all these impactful initiatives and activities mentioned, are there new phases or elements added to this new phase of the strategic plan, or just replicating what the lessons learned in Ghana here?
All right, so as you ask, yes, there has been success. And so we build upon it. You know, we are in the 21st century where technology has become the engine that we grow and we thrive. And now we have moved from a system where we have the traditional way of doing things, the agile, and we are moving to the agile where we have to be flexible and dynamic. And so as part of that, we have engaged a lot of stakeholders. Today, for instance, we have all sorts of stakeholders that are doing a whole lot of things. And ensure that as we continue to build on the gains that we have made, we also learn from others and we collaborate with others and ensure that others get involved. Because most of the things that FAWE we do is not just about ourselves, but we also look at how do we scale it up beyond our own capacity, getting government and other partners to involve. So one other area that we are looking strongly is partnership and network as part of the new strategic plan, even at the Africa level and at the country level. And so those are the areas, and also try to ensure that we don't duplicate efforts. There are so many people doing the same thing at the same time. So what we try to do is to identify like-minded people. What are they doing in their own corners, and ensure that together we move together and partner. So that is the approach that we are looking at and building upon our success.
Interesting. Now, talking about success, and of course, we want to see the continuity of it. What is success to FAWE Ghana in the next 5 years, if I should ask?
Success to FAWE Ghana is to see that young, vulnerable girl who has no hope, no belief in herself, seeing at that level that no one ever believed she would ever be there. That is what we define as success. Giving hope to the hopeless and making them laugh. It is only when we get to that point then we will know that as an organization we have achieved our aspiration and the reason why we were established.
And to you, Dr. Martha, what is success in the next 5 years to FAWE Africa?
Yeah, thank you. Our success will be measured by the targets that we have set for the 5 years. And in line with our first objective, which resonates with the program that we are implementing with the Mastercard Foundation, our success will be measured by the implementation, the successful implementation of that program in the 10 countries that we are talking about. We are looking at the higher education access program, the number of countries that we take in turn, and coming back to Ghana, the number of universities that buy into that program, and the number of vulnerable girls that would never have got an opportunity get into school and complete. That will be our biggest success.
Great.
Thank
Interesting. So I believe we have a number of stakeholders currently watching this program. What will be your last message to our educators, policymakers, as well as girls and students watching this program? Dr. Martha.
Yeah, my message to all that are watching, including our partners, civil society, is that we need to be innovative. We need to do things differently. We need to understand that times are changing. And if times are changing, then we also need to adapt to the change. And that's why I call upon all higher institutions of learning to embrace the higher education access program or the bridging program. I know in Ghana, we have several institutions that are implementing. But what does it have? Where are the gaps? how can we work together to strengthen that, and also targeting specifically the most vulnerable, the most disadvantaged. That's my call.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Martha Muhwezi, for sharing your insight with us. And to you, Mr. Amweni, before we wrap up, what will be your last message, and how and where can we get more information about FAWE Ghana as well as FAWE Africa?
And so if for us to get information about FAWE Africa, you can connect to our website, fawe.org. Whatever information that you need, you would be able to get. And when you go to various social media platforms, FAWE Africa, you get all the information and activities that is going on. If you want to get information about FAWE Ghana, so here you have FAWE GH instead of fawe.org. So now you see the difference. And when you want Kenya, it also follow the same suit. You get that information from us, and of course you can reach us at the country level office, which currently we have presence in Accra here. We have presence in the eastern region, also in northern region, Navrongo, and we also have presence currently in Tamale and also Ho, which is the Volta region. So whichever information that you need at any day, anytime, you would be able to reach out to us to get those information.
And then your last message to
my last message is for, especially with the CSOs and other NGOs that are operating in the sectors that we are also operating, to see ourselves as collaborators and not competitors.
Very, very true. Thank you very much, Mr. Richard Amweni, and thank you, Dr. Martha, for having us today. And that was representative from FAWE Africa as well as FAWE Ghana, sharing their insight on what they have done. I hope our discussions today has informed you the importance of girls' education across the continent. My name is Isabella Teta Hinakwa. See you again. It's about time we all come together to advocate for girls' education. See you in our next episode. Bye.